Welcome to Buddha Enlightenment. Today we're diving into one of life's deepest questions. Do you really exist? This very question was once asked to the Buddha, and his answer, or silence, may surprise you. The Buddha's unique insight into existence, self, and what we call I, has the power to shift our understanding of life entirely. So let's explore the middle path and unlock the truth about who or what we really are. Do I really exist and do I really exist? Now this was a question that was asked from the Buddha on point, but the Buddha refused to give any answer to this question. Buddha, he kept silent to this question. The reason why the Buddha kept silent was not because he did not know about anything about this, but the Buddha said that by answering these kind of questions will lead to load of wrong views, will lead to load of problems. Now for an example, if one said like, I do not exist or you do not exist, then there will be many questions and many problems, then it will lead to many problems. Like if I do not exist, then who is the person who experiencing all those karma, and who is the person who is being reborn? And also if I don't really exist, what's the point of doing good and bad things? There's no point of doing good and there's no point of doing bad, and there's no point of be kind to people. And there's no point of helping people, so lead to many problems and many ethical dilemmas by answering these kinds of questions. And that is why the Buddha refused to give answers on point and directly to these kind of questions. But the Buddha explained that who you are, that's what Buddha focused on. So the Buddha said that by answering these kinds of questions, by saying that you don't exist, you falls into one extreme, and that is called nihilism or complete annihilation. Now, one of the complaints that Buddha got in his time was the people complained him that he was a complete annihilator. He annihilates people by letting them into the nibbana, so people consider it as nibbana as an asa complete annihilation, but it's not a complete annihilation. The Buddha said that when you say that you don't exist, it falls on the extreme, and that is called nihilism, which was known as such ched. And if you say that you exist, then it falls into the other extreme, and that is called the sashwatha or the eternalism. What Buddha teaches you is what the Buddha says, that my teachings lies in the middle. I teach you the middle way. What is the middle way? To find what you consider as who you are or true self, and realize the nature of it. The Buddha did not say that you don't exist. The Buddha did not say that you exist. The Buddha said what you consider, what one consider a self or is subjected to change. Now, what we consider as I, we consider as eyes or ears or nose, our tongue, our body, and our mind. This is whom we called I. And also what the things that we called consider as ours, the things that we see, the things that we heart, the things that we smell, and the things that we taste, and the things that we physically feel, and the things that we think, so all those things together, we called as I or my things, myself. So the Buddha said, just take a look at these things, what you call self, and understand that all the things that you consider as yourself is subjected to change. It is ever changing. For an example, our eyes and our ears, nose, tongue, body, mind is ever changing. What we see in this world, what we experience in this world is subjected to change. Right there, right now, it is changing. So the Buddha said, what you consider as I or myself or min is subjected to change. Then the Buddha said, if something is subjected to change, and that is suffering, that leads to suffering. For an example, let's say we having a good time and we having good experiences and good feelings and happy feelings. So what we like to do, like to feel, we like for them to be permanent. We like to feel good forever. But it is subjected to change. It is changing. And when it is changing, we suffer. And let's say we're having a bad experience or difficult experience. Then with what we think is this pain, this suffering is going to last forever. But it's also subjected to changes. So that is why the Buddha said, what you consider as you are subjected to change. And if something is subjected to change, it is suffering. And then Buddha said, if something is suffering, should it be considered as min or I or myself? Turns out it is not. Why? Because if something is suffering, we should not consider it as ourself. We don't like to consider it as ourself, because as as beings will like to be happy, not to suffer. And that is why the Buddha said, Buddha did not say that you do not exist. The Buddha did not say that you exist. The Buddha said what you consider as yourself, what you consider as I is subjected to change and is suffering, and in the necessity of suffering it should not be considered a self. Now this whole concept is called anatta in Buddhism. Anatta, that word anatta is oftenly translated as no self. But rather when you take this word no self, it gives the meaning that you don't exist. That is why that is Bo. How many people say the Buddha said that you don't exist? No, Buddha did not say that you do not exist. The Buddha said, what you considered as I or you is not yourself. It should not be considered as yourself, and that is what the concept of anatta other than saying no self. It's much better to say that it is not self, and this is the whole idea behind the concept of anatta in Buddhism. So I hope you learned something new today. I wish you all, may all of you be happy and healthy. Thank you for watching. We hope this exploration into the Buddha's wisdom on existence and identity has sparked new insights. If you found this video meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to Buddha Enlightenment. Stay connected for more content that brings peace and wisdom to your journey. Until next time, may you all be happy and free from suffering.